Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction, and this is the deep analysis video for a Bitcoin, and we're gonna dive a little bit more deeper in the analysis into the bullish and the bearish scenarios on all time frame of the chart. And starting here with the monthly chart on our parabolic study that we did a long time ago, and we have updated every time, and now we can see already since the last week we have updated that we have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, an impulse towards the upside on the monthly chart, where based on Elliott Wave theory you want to see a bigger correction after 3 waves towards the upside. In all means, we are looking at a finished impulse at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to see an A, B, and a C forming in a regular fab, possibly after looking here for an A, 3 waves B, and then 5 waves toward the downside, hitting the 1-to-1 fib level at 22,200. So this is one of your bearish scenario that we might have. However, to get bearish, you need your wave C to start with an impulse pattern, right? Because your wave C should be an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it should be a diagonal shape. One of these two possibilities. Now, if your wave C do not show any sign or signal of a start of an impulse or a diagonal, therefore this scenario has a very much lower possibility. And we are looking for another repetition of a cycle where we are looking for an impulse towards the upside 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then having another correction towards the downside. Now that was for the monthly chart and the parabolic study. If we move further now, I want to start of course with the daily chart, our 100k scenario that we just showed now on the monthly. On the 100k scenario, what do we mean with it is like Bitcoin is gonna reach the 100k, of course, USD dollars, and yeah, reaching the 5 digits that we were talking about it since years ago. And as you can see, we are still in this impulse in the green label 1, 2, 3, and 4, finishing the 4 exactly on the fib level of 0.5, perfect for a wave 4, and we're still looking for a wave 5 towards the upside around the 100k US dollar for Bitcoins as a minimum target. Now, as you can see that the wave 4 has a range a little bit longer than expected, because of course we were expecting here a finished ABC and then moving impulsively for a wave 4, but that was not the case. Then we have transformed this to an A, B, and a C. Your wave C has finished exactly on the 0.5 fib level, and then we are now looking again for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards the upside. Now, of course, we have started with something here as an impulsive, and we're gonna get, of course, closer to it right now on the 1 hour chart. If we can go directly for what happened during the last days, we can see here that we were already in an impulse. Looking for an impulse at 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything worked perfectly until a very big and strong move towards the upside has appeared on the wave 5. Somehow it has created a different shape than what we want to see for a wave 5. However, this cannot be considered as an impulse. It cannot be considered as a diagonal, because this level took, of course, the low as well. So it will not be really efficient to call this as a wave 5. And based on Elliott Wave rules, this is not allowed. This is a problem. So at the end, also we have saw some impulses, and we can see here exactly a formation of 3 waves actually. Now we see, of course, lower prices. Potentially we might see 4 or 5, very possible. However, We have touched exactly almost the one-to-one of a zigzag fib level taken from this A to the top of the A and to the base point of the B, hitting of course the one-to-one fib level for a zigzag. So this opened then this problem that happened for the wave 5 opened the possibility, of course, that we have to treat this pattern aside alone and then to look only at this pattern what is gonna be. So what we can take from this pattern is a zigzag towards the upside and another zigzag in between, finishing this whole pattern in WXY. So in that case, of course, we are a bearish scenario and we are looking for lower prices. And don't forget that we have a CME gap to close at the 54,000 almost for Bitcoin. So of course this gap should be closed. If we take a look at the again BTC1, which is the CME future, you can see exactly this gap is not yet closed. Okay, so we need to close this gap, same as for every gap has been closed before. Now, of course, there are some gaps in Bitcoin chart which was not closed. Of course, I can show you some examples somewhere exactly here. Okay, so I put this as long gap. So yeah, what I'm expecting in the future that it comes back, right? So therefore, of course, here is that is another one. So possibly it could be possible also to leave this one as well open. So there is no that is to say that always it closes 100%. It's not 100%. Therefore, sometimes, we have to, maybe forget about the CME gap sometimes because it might affect our emotions, right, on a bullish scenarios, right? So these are the things. Now, this is your bearish scenario. For your bullish scenario on the 1 hour chart, we are still, of course, looking at a motive wave. Motive wave, it means kind of impulsive. So what we are looking, of course, at a zigzag here finishing a wave 1, another zigzag finishing wave 2, another zigzag finishing wave 3, perfectly hitting the one-to-one for a zigzag as well, and still less than the one-to-one taken from here to the top and to the base point, which give us which it did not invalidate this diagonal. So that is perfect that we saw so far. Now a retracement. What you want to see, of course, if you want to remain bullish and not bearish, so of course you want to see a retracement, a downside, and then retracement exactly between those perfect fib levels for a wave 4. For a wave 4, it doesn't matter even if it goes deeper or not. The diagonal cannot be invalidated so far. Of course, only if we go lower than this trend here. So the things are that, okay, they are moving now in both case scenarios. So if we are bullish now, if we are diagonal, we are moving for a wave 4. So anyway, we need to see lower prices. If we are WXY as 3 wave, you're gonna move down. Therefore, in both case scenarios now, we are looking for a little bit lower prices, right? Now, the key factor, of course, again, is in this area, okay? If we see a retracement here, or of course here, then, okay, we are in a good diagonal scenario, right, which is bullish. If we see continuation towards the downside, breaking this line, then we are in definitely WXY, and we are looking to close that CME gap. So far, this is the first target, is our CME gap. Now, if we see a reversal from here and we see higher prices like a 4-5, so that might be something different totally. That would fix our wave 5, by the way, and transform it to 1-2 3, 4, and 5 perfect impulse. Why? Because your wave 5 is gonna have 5 waves towards the upside, right? In that case, we can now healthy count 5 waves towards the upside in case we get a 4-5 here, clear 4-5, of course. So in that way, we're gonna look, of course, again for lower prices for a wave 2, of course, to hit also that CME gap at the same time. So therefore, highest possibility now, of course, to get a little bit lower prices, at least to 58 to 250, and then we're gonna take it from here to see what's gonna happen. So this is based on the 1-hour chart analysis, what's gonna happen for today, possibly. So talking about the possibilities of this week about between bearish and bullish scenario, we are looking now, of course, for bullish, much more bullish potential scenarios, because yeah, we have seen many bearish as well scenarios, but it is very low in possibilities because of its shapes or because of some problems in the counting of these waves. So we're gonna start briefly again. If we are already in much more in our bullish or much more in our bearish scenarios. So as you can see, this week we have seen a very bullish one, right? A very bullish week, which is complying exactly with our scenario here, where we said, okay, we want to see a wave 3 after hitting the 0.78. And what I mean with this is when we look at our 100K scenario, we have hit exactly the 0.786, right? And this was already before hitting the scenario. We were somewhere there, and I told, okay, if we go down, we have several levels. The last chance is your 0.786, and it has the highest possibility. And therefore, this is exactly what happened. And now we are potentially looking at a wave 3 towards the upside, of course. Actually, this should be wave 5, sorry. Wave 5. That was from the last week as a wave 3. So we are looking for a wave 5. It means like a big wave 5, right? Then a wave C of a zigzag. Here we are looking, of course, after finishing a correction, we are looking at a zigzag potentially as A, B, and a C. Your C, you want to touch exactly the 1-to-1 fib level, and that is, of course, given already before. So if you want to have this fib level, we can take it again here, no problem. So this is your first target, right? This is your first bullish target that you would like to hit. Not running flat wave C. Here we go. Your 67,950 is your first bullish target. Okay, finishing a zigzag here or a regular flat. Both have the same, by the way, target 1-to-1. So this scenario has a very, very high potential, and what you want to see, of course, is a 5 waves towards the upside. We have already seen now kind of a diagonal, which is not yet finished, which it could transform to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, preferably, as you said in this scenario, yeah, it's preferably in this scenario as a zigzag to have, of course, an impulse, exactly normal impulse, or even a diagonal can still working fine, but much more important is to have 5 waves towards the upside. Now you can see also a wave C in a diagonal shape of an expanding flat finishing WXY, exactly. So what we are looking at here as a finished zigzag, and we are looking for a flat, expanding flat, and then your expanding flat still need to finish this wave C. Your wave C is a diagonal in shape, right? Now, of course, this is not your target as a wave C. Your wave C is 1.618 or 1.38, which is somewhere here, higher, of course, than this scenario, and this is your next target as a bullish, right? This is your next target as bullish, and let's put it exactly here just to make sure that you understand everything. So let's say this is the expanding flat wave C. This is your next target for a wave C, this area, which is above 71,000 for Bitcoin. Okay, and this is your next scenario, which is also very, very possible. Now, the zigzag has low possibility because we are already looking for higher for two scenarios. The first one is your 1, 2, 3 hitting the 1.6 minimum target and then continue with 4, 5. And your next scenario is this expanding flat also hitting the 1.618. So therefore we have two scenarios in this area, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the expanding flat hitting this area definitely for 75,600. Therefore, those two scenarios has higher still possibilities, right? Now, looking at the bearish scenario, why I am more bullish than bearish, and this is very important to reanalyze even after this wave towards the upside. Now, if we are looking at multiple 1, 2s, that means we are looking here at 1, 2, of course, looking at 5 waves down as diagonal, and then 3 waves up as 1, 2. Okay, this has touched the 886. Okay, once touching the 886 here, that means it is very, very low possibility to move towards the downside impulsively, because when touching the 886, that means that you are corrective, right, more than impulsive, as you can see. So for the first 1, 2 here, we cannot really take it. We have another 1, 2 here. We have touched again the 886. If you take the 886 from this point to this point, again touch the 886. Don't forget that also we have touched the 886 several times here and here and here, right? Several times. So therefore, when touching the 886 means that the price is gonna take this higher high again. Okay, one more time again. Now, of course, this 1, 2, 1, 2 both touch the 886. We still have another 1, 2. Okay, so if I want to take this as a 1, 2, how can I count this? Right? Should I count in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2? Okay, so it's too much 1, 2. So a wave C, as we saw in our monthly, needs to be already impulsive. The time of a wave C is getting lost here. If you want to be impulsive towards the downside, your time, even the FIB time for a wave C, is very close to finish. Okay, so yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2 is very, very low in possibilities. Expanding diagonal wave 1 and 2. This is maybe it could be the highest, or no, not yet. The highest one is now this one. Actually, this I would give it 30%. This is a 20%. So the expanding diagonal, where we have a 5 wave towards the downside and then 2. That means this is your 1 and this is your 2. Then you are looking for 1, 2 again. However, where is your impulse for the 1 here? Okay, you can see only 3 waves toward the downside. Okay, if we are looking here for 3 waves towards the upside as WXY, then I would look for 5 waves towards the downside, which is the next scenario is coming now. However, this cannot be considered as 1, 2 still. Okay, this cannot be considered as 1, 2 because we cannot really see an impulse. Now, a diagonal, possibly it could be possible diagonal, and then 1, 2, 3, then we see an impulse, which it has. Okay, it could be. I mean, here 1, 2, and then 1, 2 again, and then yeah, move down possibly towards a wave 3. So, however, this still a little bit lower possibility. Actually, I'm gonna give it 30% to not be unfair, okay? Because yeah, I think those both scenarios work the same anyway. Now wave C is zigzag finishing WXY. Yeah, what we are looking at, of course, here definitely is a complex correction structure, which is WXY. Now, what do I mean with this is that we might see a double zigzag WXY towards the downside, especially after this move of this week, right? After this move of this week, we might see, of course, a finished here impulse in case, and then a move to a zigzag, finishing, of course, on time with a wave C and also for a wave W, right? So this is your most bearish scenario, okay? This is your most bearish one. So if we see here exactly an impulse towards the downside or finishing a diagonal, as you can see, this can be 3 waves up, 3 waves down, then we get 3 waves down, and then up, and then down. It can simply very easily finish it as contracting diagonal towards the downside, and then moving, of course, 3 waves up for a correction, then moving impulsively towards the downside, finishing a WXY in double zigzags. Double zigzag, it means 1, this is your first zigzag, this is your second zigzag, and this is your running flat in between for a wave X. Therefore, this is your WXY finishing a correction in 3 waves. Now, the good thing is that it doesn't touch even your wave 4 invalidation level. So your invalidation level is 43,500. Your wave 1-to-1 as a zigzag, let's say taken from here till there, is 44,100. For a wave Y, it would be preferably to range in between 44,800 and 52,500. Therefore, the possibility is very high still that we can range even for a wave 4, finishing a wave 4 here and then move up again towards the upside. So this is your short-term bearish scenario, of course, where you want to finish a zigzag towards the downside, finishing a bigger WXY. So this is the most bearish scenario. Even I would give it even highest possibility between the bearish. So let's just be fair here. This could take the 40%, right? This has much more possibility than a 1-2 as expanding diagonal, which is very, very rare. And that's why it is very low in possibility. However, we're gonna keep it at 30. Yeah, so these are the possibilities. These are, yeah, your scenarios. Now another scenario that it can happen as sideways, in case we are bullish, in case one of these bullish scenarios here has worked, one of these, it means those two, whether wave C in a zigzag hitting exactly the 1-to-1 here, or a wave C in expanding flat, okay, hitting this target here. What it could happen in case that we did not finish our correction, okay, in case we want to go down back again, because this is very possible, all right? It's very possible to keep ranging again for a WXY. Once you finish this expanding flat or this regular flat or this zigzag, whatever, it's gonna end, potentially much better to end it, of course, as expanding flat here. You are still looking for a third wave to finish this WXY, which it should be also double zigzag complex structure in WXY. Zigzag, expanding flat, and then zigzag, finishing exactly here, and of course finishing on time with wave Y again. It is also very possible that we range until this time, because wave 2 or wave 4 can range a double time wave 2, because wave 2 is the time of a wave 2. You can still range very, very comfortably for a wave 4 because it has a double time. The more things that I would like to mention as well is that if we look at our weekly analysis and you take a look at the acceleration channel here, okay, we can see that we might keep ranging inside our channels. The blue one, as you can see here, your blue channel, you can still range inside it for longer time, and even inside your acceleration channel, the white one of course, where you can just hit exactly this point and move directly up towards the wave 5 for an impulse to finish this cycle impulsively. So these are the possibilities, guys. Of course, what we are looking for is to finish at the end, after all finishing this wave 5, of course, and after, of course, without going out of this channel, right? If we still keep ranging inside this channel, it's very normal, very comfortable as well, because we have still time for a wave 4 to range at least the double time of a wave 2. Look how much time. So that was it for the deep analysis, guys, for Bitcoin price prediction. I hope that you like it and that it was clear enough for you for what happened on all time frames. So as I said, today we're gonna watch what's gonna happen. We want to see, in any case, lower prices than this, right? Because we need, however, if we are in diagonal, we need to hit a wave 4. We don't need to push higher. If you want to stay bullish, it's the opposite here. Okay, you don't need to push higher, because if we push higher a little bit more, it's gonna invalidate the diagonal. Once this diagonal is invalidated, however, if we push higher in a wave 5, that would transform this to a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then your wave 5 would be counted diagonal itself. That would be perfect. And then, of course, at both case scenarios, we're gonna look for a wave 2 towards the downside. Now, if we are bearish, if you are bearish and you are looking for lower prices more than this, anyway, you have hit your target for a wave Y in W, X, and Y. Now you are looking for lower prices, hitting that CME gap, which is down there. So that was it for today. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you liked the content. Don't forget to press the like button if you did, and to subscribe for the channel if you didn't yet. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos. Bye bye. And